the nightmare continues. Here sits the soul of a woman trapped in a child's shell. However, thanks to my newly married and recently charitable cousin, Anita Louise, of the Tulsa Torkelsons, I have received a pair of shoes with 4-inch heels which will bring me precariously close to 5 feet tall and begin to crack this child's shell and allow the woman inside to finally break out. Or at least see off the lingerie counter at most major department stores.
Hey, you got red shoes? Can I try them on?
No, Mary Sue, these are women's shoes and my future.
Then they're my future, too, when you grow out of them.
Not until I fill these shoes with many happy days, as I imagine Anita Louise must have. Perhaps she danced her first slow dance in these shoes and got her first kiss. Perhaps this romance could rub off on me, and I will be kissed as well. Thanks. That wasn't what I had in mind.
People say God looks out for the working man. Sure hope he's looking out for me. These empty pockets need a helping hand. Kitchen tables full of family. But then the sun comes up and the moon is shining big and bright, and the new day promises that everything will be alright, and the new day promises that everything will be alright.
Mrs. Starkey? Howdy do. This is Millicent Torkelson. And I was... Well, I'm so happy you're enjoying my upholstery work on your sofa, because that is exactly the reason for this call.
Mom, Stephen Floyd says I can't go with him and his friends to Frosty King.
I'm on the phone, Chucky Lee.
But if you tell him, then he has to let me come to Frosty King.
This is a business call. I'm discussing serious financial matters.
I seriously want a chocolate dip ice cream cone.
Are you bleeding?
No.
Then get out.
Chucky Lee, you tell Stephen Floyd to take you to the Frosty King, or I'm gonna come out there and kick his butt. Now, family comes before friends, and he's gonna want to borrow money from you someday.
Stephen Floyd, Grandma says you have to take me to Frosty King.
Don't you call me Grandma. That is a horrible, vicious name.
Now, Mrs. Starkey, being as how you are so pleased with my reupholstery of your couch, I was wondering when I might expect payment. As my records indicate, you have as yet not paid me anything. Oh, Orrin's still sick. Well, I was counting on your payment so that I could make a payment of my own, Mrs. Starkey, so I... No, you can't pay what you haven't got. I am familiar with that line of reasoning, as I've had to use it myself once or twice before. Nice talking to you. Bye.
What payment can't you make now, Millicent?
Oh, it's just a tiny little thing. I can't even remember what it is.
The mortgage?
That's the one. Why is it I am the worst in the world at collecting money, but the best in the world at getting money collected from?
Because you a sap, honey.
Hey, Bootsy.
Hey, baby.
I want to thank you for bringing me back these shoes from Tulsa.
Do they fit you good?
Like they were made for me.
But can you walk?
No. Do I look grown up?
Yes.
Well, then everyone's just gonna have to come to me.
Dorothy Jane, why don't you put those away for a while? You have no use for high heels at 14.
Oh, Millicent, can't you see what you have here?
I have a 14-year-old girl who's trying to look too grown-up is what I have here. Any particular reason for that, Dorothy Jane?
None that I could think of.
Couldn't be that too old for you fence neighbor boy just moved in next door, could it?
Oh, I've seen him. He is as sweet as a peach in the summertime.
And maybe you're thinking if you put on these red shoes and hobble over to the Frosty King that he might look at you as something other than 14, which you are, and which you will remain until you are 15.
Then can I wear these shoes?
No.
You want to look older? You come to my shop. I'll put some blonde highlights in your hair. We'll just drive your mama out of her mind.
I heard that.
bologna sandwich there, Border Hodges?
Yes, I do.
What's the capital of Wyoming?
Don't know.
Cheyenne.
So what is that, a bologna sandwich?
Sure is.
What's the capital of Maine?
Don't know.
Augusta.
You know, that's my favorite kind of sandwich.
Do tell.
What's the capital of Louisiana?
Don't know.
New Orleans.
Baton Rouge. That's the only one I know.
I'd be willing to take a bite of that sandwich if you want some help.
I don't want to spoil your dinner, Mary Sue.
You won't spoil my dinner. I'm always hungry. Mama says I got an empty leg.
All right. I'm going to give you one bite.
Well, that's all I want.
Well, that's all you're going to get.
Hey, Border Hodges. Mary Sue, you got something in your mouth.
I don't.
Border Hodges, did you give her some of your sandwich?
No.
Border Hodges. Are you covering up for this little sandwich beggar?
Yes, I am.
Mary Sue Torkelson, don't you be sniffing around Border Hodges like a picnic ant when he's just trying to read his newspaper in peace. Ooh! Is this an ad for Bootsy's Beauty Shop? Bootsy! You got your ad right here on page 12. By the way, Border Hodges, your first month's check deposited clean and clear, didn't bounce or nothing. And I checked you out with the sheriff's department, and they don't want you for anything.
I'm glad to hear they haven't caught up with me yet.
Ruth Ann, are you bothering Border Hodges with your homework?
No, ma'am. I know all 50 states.
Vermont.
Montpelier.
Yes! That's my little genius. Go wash your face.
You done with this paper, Hodges?
I guess I am.
What y'all think of my new ad? Deep cellophane color treatment and trim, 1995. Hair by Bootsy, we don't do children. No offense.
None taken.
You see, Millicent, if you did some advertising in the newspaper and people took your business seriously, maybe you'd get paid on time and you wouldn't have to scrape to meet the mortgage.
Oh, please, I'm hardly scraping. One of my upholstery clients is down on her luck and needs to pay me a little late, which she will.
Which she won't. I know people. I've owned and operated my own beauty shop for 26 years. I'm a successful businesswoman.
Well, why don't you help out your daughter-in-law?
Because I don't have 2 cents.
Bootsy's beauty shop is 2 sinks and a hairdryer in a little room behind her kitchen.
It's small, but it's legitimate.
I got a legitimate business, too.
And what is the name of your legitimate business?
I don't have a name yet.
Well, ladies, if you'll excuse me, I don't believe I could be more uncomfortable.
You sit down, Hodges.
Perhaps I could.
What we've got here is a woman with a no-name business that she runs like a non-profit organization. Now, what we gonna do about it?
Oh, look at the time. I should have been out of this room 2 minutes ago.
It didn't used to have to be run at such a profit, Boots. But since Randy left, the little extra money I take in is our only source of income.
If you take a regular job, you'd get a regular salary, and you wouldn't have to worry about being paid on time.
Sometimes I think about taking a regular job. But that's sort of like admitting to myself that Randy isn't ever coming back. Not to mention the fact I'd miss my children every day, something terrible.
Oh, Millicent, honey, you've got to think about yourself for once. Get out in the world. Bloom.
And while I'm out blooming, who's going to be here when the kids get home?
I'll be here. I can certainly handle my own brothers and sisters after I get home from school until you get home from work.
You're too young, honey.
I hate that word.
You're too young, sweetheart.
I am mature enough to take care of 4 children. And then maybe you'll realize that I'm also mature enough to wear these shoes.
Help wanted. Jen Rhett Mills.
Ooh, they make those handy oven mitts. The ones with the big flowered prints. I used to get their bolt-ins at a good price. Remember the summer dresses I made for you, Dorothy Jane?
How could I forget? I matched oven mitts in kitchens all over town.
It says they're looking for an operator for the 27-line telephone bank with excellent salary potential for the appropriately qualified individual.
Lord knows we could use the dependable salary. I guess I could go down and interview. Of course, there's no guarantee they're going to give it to me.
Well, they're gonna give it to whoever has the brightest, cheerfulest hello.
Let's hear your hello.